On September 12, 2025, you admitted that you had used alcohol, methamphetamines, and amphetamines to your officer. On January 5, 2026, you had a diluted urine sample, which confirmed by the lab to be diluted, as well as positive for methamphetamine and amphetamine. January 16, 2026, you were found to have a diluted urine sample, which confirmed by the lab to be diluted. February 6, 2026, you tested positive for methamphetamine. On February 12, 2026, you tested positive for alcohol. February 27, 2026, you tested positive for methamphetamine. April 28, 2026, you pled to felony 3 domestic violence.
2 counts, Your Honor.
2 counts.
Mm-hmm. There were 2 victims.
Also, count 5, violating a protection order.
2 of those as well.
Okay.
And then 1 count of felony 5, obstructing.
Okay. So you want to waive counsel?
Came in here and I've got a letter in the mail stating that they wanted to see me. I went to my probation officer to get a travel pass and they drug tested me right then. They said that test was diluted because it was too clear due to my history of being accused of diluting a test. Now I've admitted to using methamphetamine. I went through the STAR program. I've got a job. I work 7 days a week at Ford Auto Plant in Louisville, Kentucky. I just left UC. I was working at the science buildings up there. I got put on at Louisville, Kentucky, working 7 days a week. I showed that employer that they were requesting me to come up here. I had a feeling that they were going to take me into custody, but he told me that my job would still be there. Should I get any leave?
What is your job? What do you do?
I'm a union iron worker. Yes. I was setting all the concrete at UC on the job down there on those 3 buildings. But the union hall called me out of Louisville and said, look, you've been on the list for almost a year now to get down here. Can you come take a drug test and go to work? And I said, yeah. I went down there, took a drug test. I give the officer my chain of custody paperwork, which is the next day after they said I diluted that test. I went and took a test at 8 o'clock in the morning, and Quest Diagnostics said everything come back negative. I give her the paperwork whenever I come to turn myself in.
I have the information here.
Okay.
Ms. Height, what happened in this case?
So I was just looking, Your Honor. Actually, this happened, it looks like there was 3 incidents back all in 2024. First one was January 23rd. Victims in this case, Your Honor, is his wife Janet and his daughter Sydney. On January 23rd of 24, it looks like there was a protection order out. The defendant arrived at the apartment and his wife Janet let him inside despite the protection order. Sydney called the police because once inside, Janet tells him that she's done with him, at which point he gets on top of her, holds her down, and there's a bruising to her right elbow, and she complained of pain in her arm. Her daughter Sydney tried to intervene when the defendant was holding her mom down, at which point he then grabs her by her hair, throws her to the ground, gets on top of her, and pins her down. Sydney says that she could feel like a knife at his hip, tells her mom to go grab it. That's when the defendant jumped up and left. Then on May 10th of 2024, he had, I guess, apparently he had called or came around 1 o'clock in the morning saying he was cold and he was sleeping in his truck. So again, Janet let him inside. They get into an argument. He throws her to the ground, covers her nose and mouth to the point that she said she couldn't breathe. He then told her if she stopped yelling and agreed not to call the cops, he'd leave. He threatened that she would never sleep another night if she did call the police. And it looks like I'm not sure. There was something about, I guess he was served with the protection order, I'm sorry, Your Honor, on April 30th of 2024. So the protection order was not in place on it must have come from the January incident. And then the last incident was August 9th. Apparently, let's see, her mom had told her, Sydney had told her mother that she needed help getting in the front door because her hands were full, and her mom comes to the front door. and he's right behind her. So again, he's ordered to show hands. So that must have been on August 9th, must have been just the protection order violation versus any of the domestic violences. But there was domestic violences on the 2 prior incidents.
Okay,
As well as there was other counts that were dismissed as well, like disrupting and that sort of thing.
so you waived counsel. Do you deny the allegations against you?
They're not exactly true.
Okay.
I did plead guilty to the domestic violence. I haven't spoke to my wife or my ex-wife since August 9th of that year. We went through a divorce. We're divorced now, and I'm living down in Kentucky. I haven't spoke to my daughter or my ex-wife since.
Okay, you're saying those allegations may not all be true, but what about the ones you're accused of as far as violating your probation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, I do have an addiction. I'm clean, and I can continue to stay clean.
Look, I know what diluted samples mean.
What's that?
I know what a diluted sample is. It means you drink a gallon of water before you come in order to pass a drug test.
Exactly.
You're continuing to use, you're going to treatment, you're not making the commitment you need. And I'm trying to figure out what to do because you've already been to a STAR program. You're trying to make a living, I understand. You've got an earbud in your ear. You're getting no benefit from that as you're trying to do something, trying to do your job and do this treatment.
It's hard. It was hard.
Yeah, so I mean, I can just put you in jail, and you shouldn't be able to use methamphetamine there, but there's no guarantee if you want it. And
Your Honor, the recommendation is to revoke him and go to prison. I just want to, I don't know if you've had a chance to look yet. This defendant has an abysmal record. He has been to prison before. He looks like he has starting with back in 2018, a felony 3 burglary conviction. He also had a felony 3 violation of a protection order back in 2018. He had a failure to comply, felony 3, has been convicted of arson, felony 4, improper handling of a firearm in a motor vehicle, felony 4. Let me keep going, let's see. And then I believe we have, oh no, these aren't, another violation of a protection order in 2018 here in Warren County. Oh, no, that was the same one, I'm sorry. Then we had, I just want to say, I was going through Jenny's notes as well at the sentencing back in December of 24. You indicated that you weren't sure if he was going to be amenable, but you were going to give him a chance. You did make a sentence of 60 months. You reserved 60 months where you were consecuting some sentences. And according to Jenny's notes, you indicated to the defendant it was because you were trying to make sure he knew he had a heavy price to pay if he did not follow the terms of community control. Your Honor, in this particular case, he's not following the orders of community control. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing on his ICOTS. And I feel like at this point, he just needs to go and serve his 60 months. He has 269 days of jail time credit.
Okay, thank you. Now, you get the last word, sir.
Sir, please give me a chance. Please give me a chance to just go complete this probation. This probation is almost halfway through. I've got maybe another 17 months maybe of this probation. I'm pleading with you, Your Honor. Please let me continue. I've just got my life started back. I understand that I have an addiction. I'm working, I'm trying my hardest. I mean, I've passed the drug test when I came in here. I passed my last drug test with IOP. I mean, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I know I had a hiccup in the middle. Now, those first charges that she responded or spoke of back in 18, that all come from one case. That all come from one day, you know, and I did 4 years. You sentenced me to 4 years on that. I got out on judicial release. I completed my probation there, so I am probationary. I can't complete probation. I completed probation with you. You give me my license back on a Class 2 suspension. You let me get my license back. You blessed me so I could start my life over. Then I tried to rekindle my relationship with my wife, and she took the divorce off the table. Then the toxicity came back. And then my depression came back, and I didn't want to let go of my family, but after being arrested, I knew I had to. So I've not made any contact with them. I've not done anything like that. I've not caught any new charges, such as, you know, trying to reach out to them or be around my wife or ex-wife. I went on my own, you know, and that's probably part of the reason that I fell into this addiction, because I've been isolated. I'm just asking you, please, please, I'm 53 years old. I've not even violated probation to where, you know, I've been caught a new charge or anything like that. I'm trying to rebuild my life. I've got a great job right now, and I can still do IOP. I can still do any type of rehab you want me to do, any type of sanction you want me to do. But I'm asking you, Your Honor, please don't send me back to prison. That ruined my life. That ruined my life. It's been so hard to rebuild since I got out, and now it's just this addiction, you know. And I don't know, I don't know what to say about this addiction. I know it's not right. I've been trying my best to, you know, stay clean, but I don't know what, you know, I don't know what to do. And I know that in the prison system, I mean, there's methamphetamine in there. Does it say I would use methamphetamine in there? No way. No. I'll do any program you want me to do, with any length of probation. I can pee clean anytime, whenever you want. I can be on drug court, whatever you want.
It's on count one, the sentence is 36 months. When you get out of CCC, you can go back to Kentucky. Will they do an ICOT supervision with this history, you think?
They're currently supervising him, so
Okay.
I would assume that.
All right, so
he
they'll
could
report
continue.
to us if he continues to use or have problems. That if I have to, I'll send you back.
Yes, sir, I do.
Because I sent you once, but you didn't stay long.
It was long enough. I mean, it was long for me.
How long was it?
It was almost 3.5 years.
Okay.
It was a 4-year sentence.
I'm missing something here. How much jail credit does he have?
269 days. He's talking about
I'm talking
different,
about-
he's talking about prison versus.
That's part of the 60-month
No,
sentence.
No,
no,
sir.
Your Honor.
No,
No,
sir.
that 4 years that he was given on some of, at least one of the other cases. with
Okay.
this- Oh, that was back in 2018.
All right. You can still turn your life around at 54 years old, but if you don't, then, you know, it's on no one but you.